Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, but there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Sleeping Warrior, Ranty, The Plain Truth, Mark Doxey, and Arwin. How are you all doing?
Doing the best. Hello, folks.
Hello.
Doing?
Good
So,
to have you.
where are we up to?
I don't know. You just joined. We were talking about giants before that.
Okay, so where are we up to with regard to these dumbass ballers that all think that we live on a spinning testicle that's orbiting the sun at a stupidly fast rate that nobody can feel?
Yeah, we're not any further along. They all still think that there's a curve in a straight line.
Not all of them. No, I've actually had some conversations on the background, of course, with ballers that do give recognition to what I've been trying to share with you people out there. Namely that even by some teachers on university standards, they do honestly, and yeah, I think that's very admirable. They do admit that visually it is flat. And then they basically revert to the astronomers to explain why it's supposedly a ball. But yeah, I'm not the only one. I didn't just make this up to poke some fun here. It's no use. It's childish to try to find visual proof of curvature because it's not there. It doesn't exist. There is no visual proof of curvature. There's only the optical phenomena that we've been trying to explain here due to perspective, narrowing down of the field of view, all of that stuff, some refraction, miraging, all these effects. There's no discernible curvature that can be visually detected. If you want to believe that there is, you're just going to have to trust your model and your math and your superiors, because there is no visual proof of it.
So are you saying that there is curve there but we can't perceive it, or are you saying that there's no curve there because it's flat?
I'm saying that if the Earth was a ball, then there might be curvature, but it is impossible to visually detect it or measure it out. That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying if it was a ball, it's impossible to detect it or measure it out, right?
No, it's not impossible to detect it. It is impossible to extrapolate visual proof from, well, visual observations. That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying that if it was a ball, something wouldn't fall behind the curve and be obstructed by a wall of water? Really?
No, I'm saying that is not the case. That is never going to be the case. And Globers so far that have been coming on the show have falsely assumed that that could be possible. And the curvature calculator, which is a ridiculous thing, falsely convinces these people that it is possible.
So just clear this up for me. Are you saying that if it was a ball, you would never see any objects falling behind the curve and being obstructed by the horizon? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly.
Why would you say that?
Because that is what has to be if it is a ball. Because otherwise, why would we have these observations ever of all these things in a super far distance at such low observation height? That would be an impossibility.
It seems to me that you're arguing that if it's a ball, we can't tell, and therefore it looks flat. Therefore,
we could tell, but not from viewing the Earth. Definitely not. Because visually, optically, it is absolutely and definitively flat in every aspect.
Why would it appear to be flat on a ball?
Well, that's a very hard thing. Like, why are the sun and the moon optical phenomena at the edge of vision? Why are the stars there? We don't know that either. We just know it's there. So why does the Earth look flat? Well, you could try to fabricate a solution to that, and that would be looming. That it would indeed, by some weird optical phenomena that is just ever present on the Earth, it would all be bending upwards into a flat plane. It would be a very complicated thing to simulate, but yeah,
but
it could be there.
If you're arguing that it could be a ball, but if it is a ball, it appears to be flat, and you would never be able to tell. Is that really what you're arguing?
Yes, you would never be able to tell.
Right. If I were a baller,
observations specifically from.
If I was a baller, I would say that would be a ridiculous statement to make.
Then you would be incorrect.
So how could a ball appear to be flat?
Oh, by looming.
But your position is that you wouldn't be able to discern whether it was spherical or not because it appears to be flat because of looming.
Yeah.
Is it not more likely that it's flat because it's flat?
Well, in that sense, Occam's razor is definitely on the flat side. But yeah, visuals are not the only medium by which you determine things.
So I'm just wondering if there's any ballers in chat that would agree with Arwin that it's a ball, but it appears to be flat, therefore looming.
Yeah, is Timmy Ossman in? I'd love Timmy Ossman to stop by, say hello. I've got a little something to pick with him.
Because I don't think any ballers would agree with that assertion, Arwin. It's a ball, but it appears to be flat because of looming all the time. Is it all the time, or is it just periodically?
No, it is all the time.
Really? I'm not sure that's their position.
Well, then they're incorrect, and they're going to be fighting an uphill battle that they're never going to win. Because when it comes down to visuals, there is too much evidence. If you exclude the concept of looming, there's too much evidence that the Earth is flat.
I agree, but I think
that you correct that with any calculator or any concept. You can close your eyes to that, but it's no use trying to find visual proof of curvature when there is so much evidence against it.
I agree there's enough evidence to question the shape of the Earth, but I don't agree that their position is that it's round, but it appears to be flat, therefore looming, because I don't think that is their position.
You're agreeing with something that I'm not saying. I'm saying there is too much evidence visually that the Earth is absolutely flat in every aspect. But visuals are not the only evidence by which you determine things.
I'd like to talk about something different, if you like.
You're on screen, Ranty. Go ahead.
Oh, right. Perfect. Yeah. Anthony, you might like this. You remember when Timmy Ossman came in and planted this image in front of us for being ball Earth proof?
Yeah, I do.
You remember it? Because essentially what we should have is some more buildings underneath here, you know, in this area here and in this area here. In fact, you know, it's consistent with the ball. What we see here is consistent with the ball. Now, I did a lot of work on this behind the scenes to try and figure out what had been going on. I think I have the answer now, and that was with he did a live hangout within the last day or so, and he put an image up that I don't think he wanted anybody to see, but I saw it, screen captured it, and I'm going to put it up now. So This is an image that he took. You can see he's very low down because you've got these weeds in front. Yeah? Now he's looking across at the same buildings, but this time he has no water filling this lake up.
Hold on, just one sec. You said you know he's low because you can see something in the foreground. He could easily be on a mound and still have grass on that mound. How do you know he's low?
Well, the highest point he could possibly be is about 20 odd feet because he's on the bridge.
I thought he was at the side of the bridge on the embankment, or at the bottom of the bridge on the side of the bridge.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That sort of area. So,
and this isn't his drone that's taken this.
I wouldn't have thought so because you can see the grass in the foreground.
No, I'll definitely agree that it's been taken from the ground, but how high he is arguable.
Okay. Well, what we're seeing here is there's no lake. There's no lake in this image. The lake's dried up. Yeah. But what we see when the lake's gone is we see all the buildings. Right? Now, I don't know how high this lake is, maybe 10 feet tall or something like that, 10 foot perhaps. And yet it sees all the buildings. Now, that is a full floor to floor of what you should expect to see on a flat plane. Now, on his image that he put through here, what I think's happening is, you know, like a Fata Brumosa.
Yeah.
So the water's being miraged up, or it appears that way. Yeah, because there's water here, and it can't go any higher than the embankment on the other side. So there's the embankment on the other side here. You can see it. You can clearly make it out, and all these buildings are visible above it.
Yeah,
right?
It looks like you can see the roads. It looks like you're seeing road level.
Yeah, definitely. And so you can clearly see that this is where the water would come up to. And what's happening is the sky or the water, whichever way it is, it's being reflected up, miraged up into a band about so high where my cursor is now. Now, we've seen this in a lot of the footage that I've done, what you've done, Anthony. We see this quite a lot. But this explains everything. Now, the fact that he hasn't put this evidence out, he literally let it slip as he was flicking through his stuff, says to me that he's being incredibly dishonest with his evidence, because this is clear. This is ground to ground.
Yeah.
This is ground to ground. And what he's done is he's portrayed this. This is clearly, now I can understand it. It's some kind of optical effect that's either mirroring the water up or it's reflecting the sky down, one or the other. I think it's probably a reflection of the water. And it's blocked it out, because we know now, because we've seen floor to floor, that the embankment doesn't go this high. Yeah, we know that. We can see it on the other side here. So I think he's been busted there.
Is that the same? Is that the same shoreline? It's the same buildings.
It's the same buildings, yeah. I mean, you got that one on the hill, and you got the same tower.
Go on, flip between the two.
There's that building on the hill.
And then just go back to it again.
Building on the hill. Tower.
No, look where the water line is. The building on the hill that you just pointed at on the left.
Yeah.
Go to the other picture where the water line's up.
Yeah.
The water line looks to be just below the base of that building.
Yeah.
And then flick back to where it is.
So essentially here. So across
but
all the way here.
Hang on. But if you were to run a line across to the next building, that would leave just the tippy top of it protruding, and it's not. Seeing most of the building.
Don't just guesstimate. Let's do some lines, because I'm looking at the top of the Capitol building versus that big building in the foreground in the centre of frame. So if you can import a few of these into Paint, and let's just fiddle with them.
Because it looks like the water line's got an inconsistent line on the two pictures.
Open with. There's the two images. So just crop that out.
Tom Treader reckons that blurry horizon pictures are not good, but this is supposed to be the curvature of the Earth.
That's slightly too big from the crop. I don't know if I can do it that way, but somewhat like that. Match up. He might have taken it from a slightly different angle down the road.
Yeah, that's
Well, essentially he's looking over the same lake, definitely.
It looks like there's a building
here.
Looks like there's a building in the foreground on that. You know that middle one. Looks like there's a no, the one in the middle, very middle of the picture. No, the big one in the middle.
This one,
yeah, that one. Looks like there's a building in the foreground that's facing like slightly to your right, but I don't even see.
Yeah, I think he's too far left. So I think he's probably about 200.
Oh no, it is there. It is there. It's that tall one.
Yeah, he's about 200 meters away. I can tell it from the side angle. So he's not far off where he took the same image, but you can see it's the same buildings.
Yeah, it is.
This is the same building here. It's the same tower. But so now we can see it without water. Well, we know that the water doesn't go halfway up the building. We know that for a fact. Because it just, it's not going to swamp the town. So it has to be an optical effect. Yeah.
How far away is
it? I don't know. I can't remember now.
Can't really put it together there.
20 odd miles.
But now that the water's gone down, he may be actually in the middle of the lake, closer to the buildings. We need to get to
let's go on Google Earth and have a look, because I'm still not convinced about the elevation.
Google Earth. Let's have a look. Yeah, he didn't leave the image up for very long. I think he realised when he put it up that it could be detrimental to his claim.
Whoops.
What's the lake called? Do you know?
No idea.
You know where what's the city called then?
Wasn't it Salt Flats in Utah? Isn't that where he was looking?
Can you help us on that, Travis?
It's called the something Capitol building, isn't it?
I'm not from Utah.
Just type Capitol building, Utah.
Building.
If you don't know exactly where it was, I don't think we're going to find it, are we?
There we go. So there's the Salt Lake City. Right, so there's the buildings that he's looking at in this area. There's the Capitol building, that one that's on the hill with the dome on. That's there. And he takes his images from this roadside here. This junction here.
Are we not guessing?
No, he did it before with me. He showed me where he did his images from, so I have to agree. And he says that there's a place where he can park his car and get out and take the images from here, this area.
He has a car?
I think so. So yeah, I'd like him to come in and explain why the images don't match now. Why, when it's dried out, we get this. It's the same. That's the same sky. That's the same area that he's looking at.
So,
what's the
if you're out there,
conclusion?
Tim,
What's the conclusion then?
What's my conclusion? My conclusion is that it's just a reflection of the water. I think it's been because you can see this clear. Where is it? That line that runs through it. Now, me and Anthony have seen this quite a lot, and we've always wondered what these lines are that run through the image here.
Yeah, there shouldn't be lines there.
No, but we see this in quite a lot of footage over water. When it gets to near the horizon, this kind of doubling effect. It's different layers. There's like a line that runs through it. Now, I'm thinking that is just a reflection of the sky.
It can go both ways. They can argue it's curved, and we can ask, well, is it really curved? Why, if it is curved, why are we getting these bands that go across the horizon? I bet it's not curved at the rate it should be, though. Do you know what the distance is, Ranty?
It's quite a way.
Let's see if it's where the curve tells us it should be, because I bet you it won't be.
Roughly about there that he does it from, innit?
So,
well, maybe it's
6 miles.
There must be a bridge that's nearer then. I'm sure he said it was 28 miles. Something like that. Let me just see. It could be. Could be there actually. Let me just. Yeah, that's the 26 miles. So it's roughly there. I remember it now. 26 miles.
But 26 miles, and I don't know what the level will be relative to what he's looking at, but what's it say for the level? Mind you, he's supposed to be above water, isn't he? So he's not going to be that far off it.
And it basically, so you can see that this is what he's looking. He's looking across this lake area here that's dried out now. And there's the other side of it, and then you've got the Capitol building behind, and the other buildings all lined up.
26 miles, and what view height are we going to go for? And
well, you can only be at the most 20 feet, because unless they got 20 feet branches.
At the most 20. Well, what do we think realistically? 10?
I would say, yeah, 10.
Let's go with 12. 262 feet. How tall is that building? Well, you need to know the building's elevation, don't you?
Well, I remember when I did the workings out, the calculations, that the image that he showed, this one, would have been accurate with the ball model. So this is what we would have seen on the ball. So half of this building basically gone. So this was kind of correct. But when you take the water away, look what happens. You see everything. Funny that, isn't it?
To be honest, it's difficult to know without... has he made any assertions about it, that it supports the ball Earth? Is that what he's saying?
He says that this is, he was basically calling out, what's he called? Flat Earth asshole. And challenging him to talk about his image, this one, right? He wanted him to get into an argument with him on this because he joined his hangout. Flat Earth asshole thought he was going to snipe him, so he kicked him. And then he did a live hangout saying, oh, he didn't want to talk about this, blah, 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 blah. But when he was up there, this image flipped up. I think he didn't expect that one to flip up. I knew straight away it was the same stuff, but without water. And then we know what happens with water. It causes a mirroring effect. We know it. We see it all the time, like looking down the road. Sometimes you see that mirroring effect too.
Nath?
That pops out the buildings.
Dawn says that the show's embarrassing. He says that nobody's sharing it.
$170 live viewers currently.
Oh, sorry, Dawn.
That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot, actually.
Are we okay to move on, Ranty? Because I'm not sure where we can go with this at the minute.
Yeah, I'm happy to move on. I'm just saying that, you know, when he came out and he said to me, to my face, that he's always gone and he's always seen this kind of stuff. He's never seen any proof of flat Earth at all. This is what he said to me. He said he's been 5 or 6 times and he always kind of sees this sort of, blockage up to halfway up the building, which is consistent with flat Earth, with ball Earth, yeah. But then this image popped up, which proved that he's lying out of his backside.
Okay.
Right. So I wanted to pull him up on that, but obviously he's not going to come in and talk about it, is he? So
I want to pull somebody up.
Okay.
Let me just get to the relative video. Right, so screen share. Share screen. Let me know, Nath.
You're up.
Right, so deep inside the rabbit hole. He's done 4 sun fade out videos, right? And the first 2 or 3 were mentioned on one of Nathan's previous shows because I said that the sun appears to shrink, and the ballers all claim that the sun does not shrink. It does not change its angular size, but there is evidence that shows that it actually does. And that was one of my claims. I said it appears to shrink, and it also appears to set without going down. It's as if somebody switches it off. So basically what he's done is he's gone out. Somebody challenged what I'd said and said, yeah, but he's not got a solar filter, Riley. So what he's done is he's gone and got a solar filter, which turns out apparently it's not a solar filter. He shows it here. Apparently an ND16 is a partial filter. And I don't know whether it's important in terms of how much partial it is. I can't tell what an ND16 is. It seems to be not as straightforward as I thought. But nonetheless, it has a filter on it. And basically, it's darker than what it was before. Now, their argument, the counter argument is that, well, Riley, it's not getting rid of enough glare, Riley. So because there's not enough glare being removed from the filter, they're claiming that this is bunkum on that basis. I'm calling bullshit. I don't think it makes any difference. I think there's enough light being allowed into the camera lens to see it, and I don't think there's that much glare coming in. Maybe I'm wrong. Who cares if I am? The point of the video is that the sun sets and it doesn't drop behind the horizon. It just goes out as though someone switched off the light. And my question is, well, why? The sun is supposed to set because of the claimed rotation of the Earth. So their argument it now has to be that this is actually glare, not the actual sun itself. But if it was glare, why does it do this? Watch.
Poof, and it's gone.
Yeah. So I spoke to David and I asked him, what's your interpretation? And he said, well, what do you think? And I said, well, it looks to me that it just, like boats disappear into the background and they just lose their ability to...
Make it full screen.
They lose their ability to be seen because they go through the opacity of the atmosphere. He said, that's exactly what it's done. And I said, right. I said, that makes sense to me because I've seen boats do it. Now, I agree. I've seen the sun setting and it drops behind stuff. But when you're getting up in elevation and you're not in that same that layer of refraction and you're in less refraction, perhaps the sun is doing something completely different when you're not in the layer of dirty air. When you lift yourself out of it and you're not in the dirty air, maybe the sun's not actually setting at all. It's just a refractive effect caused by the denser layer of air in some way. Who cares? There's evidence now that suggests that the sun doesn't actually set the way we're told and does do something else. So I've asked Sean Hufford, would he have a look at it? I've asked Sly Sparkane, would he have a look at it? Sly wouldn't commit to it. And to be honest, I think he had his trainers on and he was ready to run out the door and just leg it from the question because it's one of these awkward ones that these have to argue. But what's the explanation for it? Because the sun is meant to set. It's meant to go down. It doesn't appear to do that. So because I'm anticipating that Sly might run, I've asked Sean Hufford, would he give an answer to what's going on here? Because even with the filter on, you can clearly see that the sun is in the picture, but it just fades to black. So how can that possibly be? So I've asked Sean, and Sean said that I've said something wrong or whatever, and I'm sure he's gonna obfuscate the point. So just be aware that Sean's gonna hopefully do a video addressing this, but I can probably guarantee that he's not going to address this. He's going to find some excuse not to do this and blame me for it. But hopefully, I've asked two of them, and let's see if they can respond to it with something credible for why the sun doesn't do what they tell us it does when there is a filter applied to it. And basically, we want to know why. So, Sean and Sly, the ball's in your court.
Yeah, amazing video that.
Hello, guys.
Wow,
Are you disappointed,
super
Dawn?
loud.
What?
You
Oh, wow.
sounded almost disappointed when you were reporting that the show's nobody's liking the show or it's not popular or whatever it was that you said.
No, I just said nobody shares this, Nathan.
Where do all these people come from?
They just got into it somehow. I don't think people shared it.
Is it gravity?
What sort of person shares this on their Facebook? I mean,
Is it gravity? It must be gravity, right? Like the attractive force between masses. Nathan must be a big mass.
Oi, cheeky sod.
what's the topic then? You're saying the sun never sets?
Alan.
Hello, boys.
Alan, did you call Arwen a Nazi racist? A Nazi paedophile?
No, I didn't.
How many subs have you got currently,
Hello.
Aaron?
16.
The guy that said it had 8. Sounds like it could have been you.
Could it be me?
Yeah, I think it
Hello,
was.
FE Viking. Can you hear
Hello,
us?
hello, hello, hello,
I've been busy writing poetry.
hello.
Hello,
So-
good to have you.
I'm here.
Oh, let's hear a poem.
I'll ask you again before you go into your poetry. Did you call Arwen a Nazi paedophile?
No,
Are you sure?
absolutely.
No, Owen's calling me names, Riley, so maybe ask him about that. as
You're a
well.
big boy, though.
Calling you names.
Ask Arwen if he called me the C word.
But I'd call you the C word.
Anyway.
Owen trying to
leave
get
this a crap-
personal and
This is all
offensive.
petty nonsense. Come on. What was the subject? I've even forgotten now because of this petty nonsense. What was the subject in hand?
My poetry?
That
I saw
definitely
on the
wasn't the
screen you said
subject.
the sun never sets on a flat Earth.
Right, yes, Death's video.
Right. So what's nighttime about then?
Proximity. Are you stupid?
No.
Yeah. You
Hold
can't
on.
see my car headlights from here when I put them on, can you?
How do we see a sunset from a plane? Are we flying above the sun?
Can you see my headlights on my car if I put my headlights on from here?
Oh, we did that one. It's not an analogy.
Yeah, it is. It's called proximity. If you're too far from it, you
hold
can't
on,
see it.
hold on. Let's just get it on track. Right, Dawn. See how the sun is on screen now on my avatar?
Yeah.
Right, according to you, where we see the sun from the ground dipping below the horizon, we are told that the Earth turns, causing the sun to disappear bottom up. Right? Earth's video shows it fading out. It definitely doesn't go below any Earth that's turning. So what's your explanation for that?
Well, I've watched it multiple times in the last few weeks because it's a nice summer here, and it disappears every night. Goes completely dark, pitch black.
Yeah,
never
but
seen
isn't
it,
that
never
because
seen it
we're
fade
at low
out.
elevation?
Never seen it fade out. Always disappears bottom first.
Sure,
Yeah, but there's a difference though.
He's doing it with a drone. So were you aware that he was doing it with a drone?
I wasn't. No, I don't
Okay,
really
so-
trust Earth, to be honest. He makes stuff up a lot.
Sure, you can go and watch the entire live unedited broadcast with him putting the filter on and then taking off and then filming the sun. He's done it on multiple
What
occasions.
type of filter was it?
I don't
I
know.
don't know, but it kind of destroys your ad hom attack, doesn't it?
Was it an ND filter on the drone?
No,
Yeah,
it destroys your ad
ND
hom attack,
filter.
though, doesn't it?
So not a solar filter then.
What's an ND filter?
Address the fact that he did it live.
Noise distortion.
Address
Noise
the fact he did it
distortion. Are you
live.
sure? Are you sure?
Not 100. No.
Right. It's a neutral density.
Yes. You are
Neutral density. I think the word is.
Right, address the fact he did it live and retract the fact that you don't trust his evidence.
Did it still disappear bottom up, or did you say it's getting smaller and
No,
smaller?
no, you're obfuscating the truth now.
Hold
Your
on,
ad hom attacks, you bring nothing to the debate. If you're going to be honest, at least come in and be honest.
There isn't a debate. There's you lot making stuff up and us challenging it.
Have you
Well,
seen it?
challenge it, but don't
Hold on,
ad hom.
Ranty,
The
hold on.
evidence is there. It was done with a live stream.
Has he seen it though? Has he actually seen it? Because he says he's seen it, but has he?
No, I saw a couple of screenshots before I come on.
No worries. Can we play it again, just so Dawn can see it right now?
Do we have to pander to Dawn?
He's gonna forget it
No,
after
you don't.
5 minutes
I get the
anyway.
point. Even if I give you that the sun faded away on that one video, yeah, I mean it still goes pitch dark every night and goes behind the horizon.
Yeah. Can you see my headlights from your house?
You have a car?
No, you can't. Can you, Dawn?
That's 'cause
Well,
the
they're not.
purpose
They're
of the
just headlights, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's called proximity, right? The closer to my car you get, you can see the headlights. Get too far away from it, you can't see the headlights. Same with the sun.
What if you're behind a
Yeah,
temple?
but you have no proof that the sun is a light.
Okay, I'll give you that the
Actually,
sun's
you
moving
can
around
see-
and it's going further away and fading out. So why do we see sunsets from a plane? Are we flying above it, or is that proximity as well?
Well, you-
Principle.
yeah,
The
but you
sun
get-
is just a visual phenomena. It's not. You don't have
Just
proof
a
that it
visual
is even
phenomena
the
that
source
keeps
of
you
the
alive.
light. You just see
I have
it
a question. What about every single other video that shows a sunset? Like, they, in quotes, tell us, every single video that shows a sunset that goes below the horizon. This is just one instance with special conditions that make it happen like that.
Yeah, but
What do
why?
you think of every single other video that shows a sunset drop below the horizon?
From the ground, right?
What about those?
Yeah. What about the one you were showing to me a minute ago, Oakley, Nathan? Is that proximity where the bottom half's gone?
It's from the ground. So there's a narrowing of the viewing angle as something goes further away from you and reaches that 0 point, that point of convergence. But from
But
the
it's
sky,
not getting smaller, is it? It's just disappearing from the bottom in that image.
in that image, but we're asking specifically about from altitude. Why does it just fade out?
How high was he exactly?
Yeah. Sorry,
question.
guys, but the angular speed of the apparent sun disk remains the same at all times.
From
It's a
from
visual
that.
phenomenon. It's not a source of light. Has no position.
It's
no
not a
size.
source of light.
Yeah, it isn't.
That's a lie.
It's a lie.
It is though.
It's
You
a
know
lie.
you know that inside is a lie.
Yeah, I know that. I know
I
a
know
lot
you
about
do.
you inside. That's what I know.
The sun isn't a source of light. How can you even say that sentence to yourself?
It's
Seriously.
very simple.
Can you prove it's
light
tangible?
coming from that direction, but you have
Yes,
no
I can
proof
prove
that
it's
it is a
tangible.
physical object at any distance. You have no proof that the light is coming from the sun.
Yes, I do have
For all
proof.
we
I can
know,
put
the sun
sunglasses
disk
on and
could
see
be
less of it.
an optical
can point
phenomena,
the other
just like a
direction
rainbow,
and not
that
get
just
blinded.
coincides with the direction of the sunlight in relation to the position
That's
of
another
the
lie.
observer on the Earth.
You're lying again.
I'm lying again. No, sorry, you're just too retarded
You can
to
intimidate
understand
me,
the
but it's
concept.
true. You made it up.
I made it up. No, you're too retarded to understand the concept. Because you're
I
demented.
get the concept.
No,
Nice,
you don't get the concept. You barely get anything.
It's made up.
Made up.
So, Dawn, can I ask you a couple of questions about the turbines?
Well, hold on. Why does
yes.
the sun fade out? Why is that happening?
I've probably done some camera trickery. That's my guess.
Really?
Yeah. He's
A
known
lot
for
of
doing
guesses.
stuff like
A
that.
lot of guesses. You know, people that do a lot of guesses, they tend to not understand things. So that makes sense.
Probably the exposure.
So he used an ND filter, not a solar filter, correct?
Correct.
Right.
What's your problem with that?
It probably lowered the iris as well to get
That's
that.
not what the filter's for. It's not.
Of
It's
course,
not
it
gonna keep the
reduces
sun.
light. That's what filter does, you Burke.
It's not going to keep the sun the same like a solar filter, though, is it?
I don't think it's going to make that much difference, to be honest.
He used the wrong filter. That's the point.
Wrong filter? Not the one that you wanted to use.
No, the one you're supposed to use. He didn't use it.
Only supposed to use for you guys. I don't think that it's even necessary to use a solar filter to make
Hold
the point
on.
he's making.
The filter won't make. Hold on. The filter
Wait,
might.
so then why doesn't?
Hold
why
on.
doesn't
Hold on. Hold
someone
on.
either go
Hold
there?
on. The filter might make a difference to whether or not we see it change in angular size. That I'll grant you. But it wouldn't make a blind bit of difference to the direction of travel. So if we're turning, it needs to go behind something to disappear. But it fades out. So the filter, in that regard, makes sod all difference. You know, if you don't want to argue about its size decreasing, which is depicted in that video, fine, no worries. Why does it fade out?
I'll give you that, but it's still dishonest to use the wrong filter on purpose. Isn't it?
Sorry, did you not listen to me? I don't give a crap about the filter. That's only to do with the angular size argument. However, why doesn't it disappear behind Earth if we're on a sphere? It should, but doesn't.
Well, why
Let's
doesn't
say
either
this
he
again so
redo
we
it with the
can
proper
respond
filter,
to
or
it.
someone go there and why doesn't he redo it with the proper filter, or someone else go there and redo it with the proper?
Are you
filter,
deaf as well?
and then get the
Are
result?
you deaf? The filter is irrelevant. It's not being blocked by Earth. It's just fading out. Why?
This is a special instance that is not
Special.
the same to every single normal day.
Yeah, normally we're on the ground. This one's up in the sky.
How high up?
I think it's 200 meters.
What did he use? An ND filter?
Don't know. Don't know enough about it. New to us yesterday.
I've not seen the footage. ND filters are for smoothing motion. Usually used on.
No, they're not. They're for reducing the light so that you can get long exposure.
I think you find you're wrong. They use.
No, they're not. They're for
Hold on,
reducing the light so
Anthony.
you can get long
Anthony.
exposure.
Someone pull it up on
Anthony,
Google.
If he, hold
Someone
on.
pull it up
Hold
on
on. I
Google.
want to hear.
I got myself some neutral density
Oh God!
filters.
Everybody
I didn't
talks
buy- I
now. Can we
didn't buy them
actually
to
hear
reduce
Alan?
Lots of
Alan,
people
can we hear
on
Alan,
landscapes,
please?
on landscapes for smoothing water.
Yeah, but what they do is reduce the light so you can open your aperture for longer so that you can get a long exposure.
Yes, it's called stepping down.
Right, so it's not for smooth, it's for reducing the light. So
No, the effect is it smooths.
yeah,
Okay.
but its practical purpose is not smoothing.
Yes, it is.
It's reducing the light so you can have a longer exposure to get the smoothing effect that you're on about. So who was right and who was wrong there? Was I right or were you right?
I'm always right.
No.
Okay.
You said it was to reduce.
Hold
No,
on. This is a
it's
moot
not.
point.
It's
It's
light.
moot. I'm happy to just disregard whether or not it reduces an angular size. However, smooth or not smooth, it doesn't make any difference. If the motion is that it is being obscured by Earth curve, that motion, whether it's nice and smooth or completely unfiltered, you'll still see a motion of it being blocked bottom up. We still haven't got an answer other than it's not the typical circumstances. Well, no, it's in the air.
Nathan,
Well, sunsets from an airplane are the same as on the ground.
You got an example of that?
No, I'm on mobile.
you want to see if you can get us an example of that?
Sure.
Nathan, just say nice and smooth again.
You know the timestamp of this fading away thing?
Yeah, it's at the end where you'd expect it to be.
I can't seem to find an instance where they use a solar filter, but
I don't see really the purpose of
I could
arguing
go
the
outside
sunset at all.
tonight with my neutral density filters, and I wouldn't get the sun fading out.
Over
It'd still go
200.
down
Yeah,
behind the
but
horizon.
not in the sky, are you?
Not
Thanks,
yet.
massive.
I am in a flat.
Massive thanks to all who shared. Now over 200 people watching. So thankful to all those people who share the show.
So what were you saying before, Dawn?
Sorry?
Nobody ever shares this show. It's not popular. What was it you actually said?
I said nobody shares this show. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. Oh.
Yeah,
Embarrassing.
I think
I share
you're
the show.
projecting. I think nobody really cares about you.
Yeah,
Said.
I am projecting a bit. I wouldn't share the show on Facebook, so I find it hard to understand why someone else would.
I share the show.
So how's your show going?
It's because people like you come in, Dawn.
I don't have a show.
Yeah. Why would that be?
Yeah, maybe the extra 50 viewers just gone up because me and Alan came or something like that.
Yes, I think they all wanted to come to listen to my poetry.
You said you had about 8 viewers or something, 8 subscribers. How are you going to get 50 people to come from your 8 subscriber base?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'll do what Dredd does. I'll pay for them.
They like to hear you challenged, don't they?
I
That's
have another theory about why all these people are coming to join. I think they just really loathe you and they like how Nathan grills the shit out of you, and that's why they're coming.
Yeah, some of them are for
Or
that.
maybe they're coming to listen to you becoming a slightly twisted and bitter older man, Owen.
Yes, some people definitely come for that as well.
Anyway, what about my first poem? I have 2.
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go. I have to an effective voice for this. Riley, on the tippy tops, under a tuft of trees, eating 2 ice creams. The wind whispers I'm living the dream, travels with biscuits, but gets nowhere.
Doesn't rhyme, Alan.
Doesn't have to rhyme. I thought that was quite good. Well done. Can I have the other one?
I'll save the other one till the end. It's quite rude.
Oh, then no, don't do it.
No swearing, just yes.
Double
So
entendre.
why would you save it to the end in case you get kicked in there?
Bit of innuendo.
Yes, it's quite punny.
I'll just risk it. Just go for
Lowest
it.
form of wit.
Just go for it.
What on earth is happening in this video? That's not proper drone footage, man. It should be much clearer than that. He's got
it's not a proper
ND24.
drone.
Are
These
you
are great
basing your drone
excuses.
footage perception based on sound? These dodgy-looking drone footage. I mean,
No, from all the drone videos I watch every day.
Hold on, Anthony. Can you do us a little favour? Can you open up a Word document, right, and let's start getting some of these excuses written down. So far, we've got it's the wrong day, wrong type of day, and we've got that it's not a proper drone.
Right, so you said it was the wrong type of
No,
day.
it's bad drone footage. That's my point. I think he's filtered it out in
Wrong
some
type of day.
I don't know what's happened, but it's not like normal,
bad
is it?
drone footage. Bad drone footage.
Wrong
Known to be a liar.
type of filter.
What did he say about the filter? Was it the wrong filter?
Yes,
Wrong
definitely the wrong
type.
filter.
I don't know. I don't want to misrepresent this argument. The wrong filter would be a fair enough objection if we were talking about the angular size. Now, I'm happy to write that off completely and just say the question is, why is it fading out?
Who's got
It's
a
not,
link?
it's not really.
It is. What do you mean it's not really? It is. Exactly as is shown on other occasions, I might add. No filter will make any difference. If it's travelling down because the Earth's turning, then ultimately it's going to be dipping bottom first and then obscured by Earth curve. That's the only way it goes down in your world. So it can never fade out, but it is fading out. Filter's not going to make any difference.
He admits in the description his camera gimbal's not working as well.
Yeah,
What's the
he
gimbal
said-
got to do with it?
What's the gimbal got to do with it?
Yeah.
Does that mean he can't look at the sun with it?
Well, it means he's admitting to his technology not being up to the.
Yeah, gimbal's a stabilization device. It doesn't affect whether or not the camera's still filming. It's just less stable. I mean, I can film stuff without a gimbal because I don't have one, but it doesn't mean my camera stops working. It just means it's very shaky and not very stable because there's no gimbal.
So he's saying it's the wrong filter, dodgy gimbal, and they don't
add that
trust
to the
him.
list. I'm happy
They're
with that.
grasping now, aren't
I'm happy
they?
with
They're
that.
grasping.
That's a justification for it not going behind a spherical Earth that you presuppose.
It does. Look at the beginning of the footage. Half it's
Dodgy
gone.
gimbal. We'll add it to the list. No
Half
worries.
it's behind the horizon at the beginning. 52 seconds.
Gimbal not working, wrong type of filter, and we just don't trust him.
Not in focus either.
Oh, out of focus. That's. It's not going behind the Earth because it's out of focus. Okay.
Look at 52 seconds. It's behind the Earth. Half behind the Earth.
Half behind, doesn't it? Doesn't the Earth obscure it entirely? Then it just half obscures it, does it? And then it
Not
fades
at that
out.
point in the video.
Does it just fade out after it's half obscured? Then the rest of the Earth turn just stops taking effect.
Gets very blurry at the end.
Yeah, that's our point.
We got that already. Out of focus, according to you.
Hang on. Getting very blurry at the end is probably a part of the reason for why we're asking, because
You know the sentence, the sun never, in capital letters, sets on flat Earth? Do you think that's a true statement?
Yes.
don't know.
I do.
So, would you call the sun setting nighttime?
What you
when it
call
goes dark?
sunsetting is the sun going behind a spherical Earth. That never happens because we
What
don't
do
live
you
on a
call
sphere.
it then? What do you call?
Proximity. We've done this before.
So every time you're going to sit on the park looking up and say, "Oh, that's a beautiful proximity tonight."
No, because you couldn't see it, could you, if it was a proximal relationship where the sun's no longer in your eye line? Once it's
You
gone,
want to change the words of everything, don't you?
we change the words of everything.
Yeah,
What do you mean, like sphere to flat?
Yes, we're in a world of double speak and multiple meanings for things. So yes, definitions of words are
You don't
important.
get to change the language for other people, only for yourself.
No, we're not
only-
changing the
It's going to
language.
be
can.
you saying that's a nice proximity.
We're telling
you
you
can.
that you're
Other
telling
people are going to say,
lies.
what
You
are
can
talking about?
change the language. Yeah,
This is a
If you app-
sunset.
you can change the English language by way of usage. So words get in and out of the dictionary all the time, and it's based on its use. How much use is it getting? You get all
And
sorts
how
of crazy,
confident do you feel that you're going to get
crazy
sunset
slang
out of the
making
dictionary?
Dawn. You get all kinds of crazy slang making it into the dictionary. So while we talk about dirty air one day, 20 years from now, dirty air is probably the worst example I could use, but it makes the point. It might make it into the dictionary. There are no definitions for a lot of this stuff currently because idiots like you think that the Earth turns and that causes the sun to go behind that Earth. Therefore, it should never, under any circumstances, fade out. But it does in Dirth's videos.
Can I ask a question?
Is it related to why the sun's fading out on a supposed spherical Earth?
Yes.
Go ahead.
What cameras are you using?
It's on a
Why does that
drone.
matter?
It's a DJI.
I'm just wondering the size of the sensor there, Tony.
Would that
I
be
think
a
that's a more
reason?
relevant question
Sorry,
than that.
how would that make a difference? If the sensor was bigger, would you see it not falling behind the Earth better?
If the sensor was bigger, it'd be more accurate.
So it's not accurate enough to show the Earth and its entirety
what
and
you're-
the mass of Earth blocking something that is absolutely ginormous. So the resolution of the camera is default. No worries, we'll get that down as well.
I have another more relevant question.
I think what you're missing there, what you're witnessing there, is the
mirage.
No, the light fading on the sensor.
The light's fading on the sensor.
You better write that down.
Let me get this straight. So the sun, which is incredibly powerful, and a couple of degrees of Earth turn, is going to be causing that sun to then not be powerful enough. It doesn't change its intensity when the Earth turns, does it, Alan?
Well, when half of it is obscured,
It's already
the
gone.
intensity is
It's
decreased.
the exposure on the sensor that's
Sorry,
still
I didn't hear because Alan talked over you, the boss.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
sorry.
When half of a light source is obscured, the intensity is decreased.
Okay.
So just writing that last one down, Alan. So it's already gone. It's over the exposure on the sensor. Is that what you said?
Overexposure on the sensor, yes.
It's overexposure on the sensor, right?
Due to the incorrect filter.
Well,
An ND16 is only 4 steps down. It's not enough.
I
Hey,
just
Ibis.
looked a second video, the full
Hold
4K
on, hold
footage,
on,
which
hold
shows a
on,
normal
hold on.
sunset.
Dawn,
And the comments,
Dawn, hello. The boss got another objection, which I actually think is probably the best one so far. So the boss, am I right? I don't want to misrepresent what you've said. So if the light is half obscured, in other words, if I slip a piece of card halfway across a light bulb, it will therefore be more obscured and therefore reducing light.
Yeah, same thing that happens during a solar eclipse.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the Earth turns, half the sun is obscured, which kind of looks like it is in the video, and then what happens then?
It gets dark out, which is why we have nighttime.
Yeah, no, that's according to your model, cause and effect with the sun going behind the Earth. So it goes halfway behind. What happens next?
It gets slightly darker out.
No, that's cause and effect. I've just said this. I'm repeating myself. Yeah. So the effect of the sun going behind. Shut up. I've said it twice. Listen. The effect of the sun going behind the Earth in your bullshit religion is why it gets dark. So an excuse for the sun fading out isn't that it's getting dark, right? That's an effect of the sun going behind the Earth. So I'll say my question once more, then we'll move on to someone else if your answer's insufficient. So it gets half obscured. What happens next?
Like, what do you mean? Like, do you want the effect or what?
Can we move on to something different?
Yeah, this guy's an idiot. Go ahead, Ranty.
Well, I don't understand the question. Do you want me to say it gets darker?
I've said it 3 times, you absolute buffoon. So I'll say it a 4th time. Shut your mouth. Listen closely. According to your religion, we stand on a sphere Earth which turns. The sun, in relation to the Earth, is at a fixed distance, and as the Earth turns, it obscures the sun. So, we have a depiction of the sun. It gets half obscured, and its light diminishes by half. Even though I didn't actually see that happen, it stayed about the same brightness. But nevertheless, that's what we've got so far from you. After it's half obscured, what happens next?
It gets more obscured.
No, that's not what happens in the video.
Because the video is not accurate to what we observe in reality.
Sorry, that is reality. It's a bloody video. Not accurate to what we observe. It is what we observe. We're just at a higher elevation.
A, it's not in focus. B, it's the wrong filter.
Now you're just rattling off the list. We've already got these written down, dumbass. That's why we wrote them down. Don't repeat them. Yeah, you've got nothing, mate. Let's move on. Thank you, Ranty.
Yes. I'm just laughing at the guy. That's it. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. When you take film footage of something, that's not what you see in reality.
Yeah, when he says it's not reality, that is reality. On that day, at that time, when he took that image, that is reality.
Yeah,
Have you looked at the normal 4K footage, Ranty?
Yeah.
Unedited one.
But I have a whole... okay.
I have,
another
why?
Different argument I'd like to bring forth, and
Hold on, Dawn might still have an objection. So what's wrong with the 4K,
No, he left.
4K unedited footage?
He left.
Oh, did he?
I heard him say it before. He said that in the original 4K footage, there's another camera that shows a normal sunset.
Ethan Oakley's a balding retard.
Oh boy.
So there's
Hi,
another,
Lewis.
Sorry, I missed that. So there's another camera in the 4K footage. I don't follow.
Well, that's what he was saying. I didn't personally watch it, so I wouldn't know. But that's what I got from him.
Okay, well, hopefully Dawn will come back and he'll tell us what he means. Till then.
Can I address something in the meantime?
Yeah, go ahead, Arwen. Sorry.
Right. So, there are a couple of issues with that footage, and I've been trying to remind everyone of that all the time. It's not very popular when I say it, but yeah. When that sun goes down, it decreases in size because, yeah, well, there's probably some atmospheric distortion. Also, the cause of miraging, all of that, because it gets very near to the horizon. It enters the zone of the circle of confusion, as it is called. and that may be the cause for the apparent sun disk to decrease in size. There's another issue simultaneously happening, and that is that during its pathway, the sun does not decrease its angular speed at any point. Yeah, so it's not moving into the distance. That's not what's happening. Because if that were the case, then it's suddenly at the horizon, it gets smaller, and then it shoots off at warp speed. No.
Can I quickly
Angular
mention?
speed of the position of the sun disk remains exactly the same during its entire pathway, no matter what happens to it. No matter what lensing effect causes the apparent sun disk to decrease in size. Because it is an optical phenomena that's simply there where the light comes from that direction in relation to the observer on the Earth.
Can I just mention that Dearth has the full 4K version of that sunset, and it's just a normal sunset. It doesn't fade away. It actually goes behind the horizon like normal. And he's disabled the comments for some reason.
I'm pretty sure he could look after himself. So I added one extra one that I saw in chat from IFTH. He said refraction. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9. I've got 9 excuses.
Have a look at his non-edited footage, the one with the comments disabled.
Sorry, what's the point though? I tried to ask, but you dropped.
It's just a normal sunset. It doesn't fade away in that one.
So what you're saying is the footage has got an original version that is different to the edited version in the respect that it's a completely different set of footage. Is that what you're saying?
It says 4K original footage, and then there's a link to another video where he's disabled the comments, and he's just watching a normal sunset.
Okay, I'll have a look at it.
Okay.
I like how he says disable the comments as though it's some kind of negative.
Yeah, I mean,
well, why would you keep the comments open on the one that you guys are presenting, but disable it on the original?
Probably to save them going through more and more messages.
How many? He said he's done 4 observations of this. So, what day was this put out? This video that you're talking about, this 4K one.
I haven't looked at the dates. It's in the link to the one you were sharing.
I'll check.
Ranty, have you done any footage today?
I have.
Brilliant.
I do footage every day.
I noticed those seagulls. I couldn't see their legs yesterday. Where were they? Behind the curve?
Probably in the water, seeing as that's what they were doing, swimming on the water, you Burke.
Guys, before we move on to another subject, because it's obviously at a dead halt, I'd like to bring up some more support arguments for my concept. And that is, yeah, the sun disk really isn't the source of the light. And a while ago, Ranty made this amazing photograph and film footage of the sun disk being behind a boat and lighting up clouds from above that were positioned above that sun disk. And that is because the sun disk is only an apparent disk that just happens to coincide with the direction from which the light comes in relation to the observer and their position.
How do you explain shadows?
Well, why can you shut up for a moment? While a little further away into that distance where those clouds actually are, the sun disk and the direction of the light will be from an entirely different position, mainly from an angle much higher, which is why those clouds were being lit up from above there. While from the observer's position, from Ranty's position, where he was taking that photograph, the cloud, yeah, the sun disk was actually very close to the horizon.
Just call it
the sun disk is not the source of the light. It is only the focal point of the daylight direction in relation to the observer's position.
Just want to do a quick update. So I asked Earth, I said, how come the comments are closed on the one video? His answer, because it's an unlisted raw video that is linked in the description. If they want to comment, they can comment on the edited video. So there you go. There's Dave's Earth's explanation for why one of the comment sections of the video is now closed down. So there you go. There's your answer. Hope that's satisfactory. And with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you can smash that dislike button. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you have not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!